fate must be done.
Oh, I guess so. And we must be nearly there. Somewhere, out there in the dark, is Scotland. We've come a long way together to get here.
Yeah. Let's hope it was worth it.
I've still got the clown's nose.
So I see. You should throw it away, George.
There's something I've been meaning to say to you, Nico.
Is this the right time and place, George?
There might not be another time. I don't want to waste this chance.
You don't need to say anything. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. But here, with you. Now.
You're exhausted. Why don't you get some sleep?
Sleep? At a time like this?
Excited, huh?
Would you like something to help you sleep, dearie? I've got some tablets in my bag.
Oh, no. Thank you.
Thanks all the same, ma'am.
I haven't seen a train like this in a long time.
She was as beautiful as ever, but the shadows beneath her eyes marked the strain of the last few days. The old lady reminded me of my grandmother, except, of course, that this old lady was still alive. Pardon me?
Yes, my dear.
Do you know what time we're due in Stirling?
6:15, but we're running 8 minutes late.
Would you believe that this clown's nose led us to being on this train tonight?
I would indeed.
No, honestly, You would?
Certainly. You have an honest face.
What's the book you're reading?
Oh, it's something I picked up at the station. A medieval detective story. Quite well written for that kind of thing. It's been out of print for years.
What's the title of the book?
The Crooked Crusader Caper by Molly Pegram. I assumed the author was a woman, but apparently not. His real name is...
Professor Nigel Pegram.
That's right. Do you know him?
No, I never met him.
George is a great fan of his, though.
Do you know Stirling well?
Yes, I do. Is that where you two lovebirds abound?
Yeah,
It's one of the places we thought we'd see on our holiday.
Be sure to visit the castle, won't you?
Oh, I'm sure it's a neat place, but we are not really interested in history, are we, George?
No.
I suppose espresso bars and boogie-woogie are more your cup of tea.
That's right. There's nothing George enjoys more than a good boogie.
Is there a church called St. Ninian's at Stirling?
Yes, there is, and I know why you're going there.
You do?
Of course I do. It's obvious you're in love. You're eloping, and they say romance is dead.
Well, we're not going there for any romantic reasons, but it is an idea.
Where are you going, George?
Do I need to spell it out?
Don't snap at me. If you're going to take a leak, why don't you say so?
Okay, I'm going to take a leak. L-E-A-K.
Tickets, please.
Oh, hi.
That's a standard full-price peak return. Don't you have a senior citizen's rail card?
I rarely travel by train. My ticket is perfectly valid, is it not?
Well, yeah, but you could have saved up to a third of the cost.
I do not need to indulge in puffling thriftiness.
Blimey, you're a funny old bird and no mistake. Tickets, please, sir.
Here.
Off to Stirling, eh?
Yes, we are.
Well, I hope you won't be disappointed. It's a miserable place this time of year. Still, there's plenty of pubs and a lovely view from the castle.
Thank you.
I don't want to worry you, but there was something familiar about that guy.
Are you sure? You're tired. Perhaps you're mistaken.
Maybe. But I didn't like the look in his eyes when he spoke to you.
He looks remarkably like Eklund from the Hagenmeyer Hospital.
Can't you sit still, George?
I need to go to the John.
While you're there, check out the buffet car, George. Unthinkable though it is, I am hungry enough to eat English food.
Okay. It was the door to the baggage car. The door was locked. The man's face was blotched and unshaven. I guess he'd been traveling all night. Red-rimmed eyes stared fish-like above his broken nose.
It looks like he's been drinking all night as well.
Hi! Having a party?
No, this is breakfast. Come on, join us, man. Away, Basha, wake up, man. What's company?
His breath was like the outlet from a chemical factory.
Excuse me, mate, he's taking a nap. Sleeping like a bobby. I'll wake him up when we get to Newcastle.
We passed through Newcastle half an hour ago.
And I never noticed.
Would you like a red nose?
No, thanks, pal. I got one of my own.
What is that stuff you're drinking? It smells like gasoline.
Right, I'll put hairs in your chest, like.
And your eyeballs, too, by the looks of you. See you later. The windows seemed to have been sprayed with tiny flecks of froth.
Didn't open that window, pal.
Why not?
It's freezing out there.
All I could see of the man's face was a massive purple bruise around his eye. It was a strange contrast with his flaming red hair, which stuck out in stiff, greasy tufts. I didn't want to wake him. To be frank, without a cold water hose, I didn't think I could wake him.
No, there's nothing in here. Apart from some rubbish.
It was the door to a sleeping compartment. The door was locked. Oh no, that gangster creep from the hotel, Guido. Well, he didn't scare me. Hey, Buster, this is a no-smoking car. Okay, maybe he did scare me. It got worse. I suddenly realized who the conductor had reminded me of. Eklund, Marquet's murderer. Guido looked like a weasel in a cheap suit. He also looked like the kind of man who wouldn't lose much sleep over murder. I really didn't want to shoot the breeze with this guy. Guido was still looking pretty menacing.
Who else are we going to bump into? Lady Piermont?
I should have known better than to leave Nico and the old lady alone. Suddenly, the sword of Baphomet took second place to finding the girl I loved.
We know that the baggage compartment is locked.
Hey, buddy. Did you see what happened to the young woman in the next compartment?
No, Paul, I didn't. Have you lost her, like?
She's disappeared. The old lady, too. I think they're in trouble.
Oh, wait, man, an old lady too?
Yeah. You gotta help me.
Maybe they went to the toilet, like?
I don't think so.
They never go on their own. Always in pairs, you know?
No, she's been abducted, I'm sure. I've got to go look for her.
What's stopping you, pal?
The conductor. He's not what he seems.
You want to avoid him, like?
That's about it, yeah.
No problem.
Listen, I need your help.
What's the matter?
There's a guy on this train who's trying to kill me.
Relax, man. You wouldn't try nothing with us in Basharia. We are veterans, like. Slow action at Brightlingsea.
I don't recall the British Army being involved in a conflict at anywhere called Brightlingsea.
Well, you just take it from me, pal. You're in safe hands.
See you later.
Don't do it, pal. Don't jump.
I don't intend to jump. I'm going to climb on top of the train.
You're kidding, aren't you?
Just watch me.
We didn't see them pass through the carriages to the left, so they must have gone through the baggage area, but it is locked. So we're going to go on the roof of the train. But one thing that I don't know why is that we're going through this window and not through the window in our own compartment.
Hold on there, pal. I'll give you a hand, like.
It doesn't make sense to go this way, but this way is certain death.
It was the arm that fed electricity from the overhead cables to the train. I could almost smell the high-tension current. I'd always wanted to stop a train, and now was my chance. You saved our lives, but why?
We were always on the same side, Stobart. Different causes, but a common enemy.
The Knights Templar?
Don't call them that. The real Templars were a noble foe. These barbarians have no right to that name. These men are no better than dogs.
What are the Neo-Templars after? What is the Sword of Baphomet?
Not what you think, my friend. It is a weapon, yes, but one which our enemies will find difficult to wield. A double-edged sword. A power older than Dimolay, older than Solomon.
We'll stop them. You and me together. And Nico.
No, George. My journey ends soon at the Garden of Paradise.
You're talking in riddles. Can't you tell me straight what they're after?
The sword symbolizes a colossal energy caused by the alignment of the Earth's natural power fields.
Which are focused at St. Ninian's.
The energy endowed the Templars with the power which made them great. A power which made them charismatic to such an extent they could control the will of all around them.
Maybe not. How did you escape from the Bull's Head?
It is a long walk from the cliff of the Bull to the village, Stobart. Fortunately, I know the ways of the wilderness. Also, I have a sister who keeps a garage just around the corner.
How convenient. If we were on the same sides, then why did he try to kill us?
May Allah guide you to our enemies.
Thanks.
One last thing.
What? What is it? He's dead. The guy was a professional killer. The last thing he deserved was sympathy. I had to admit it, though. I was sorry he'd ended up this way. It was a fire extinguisher. I couldn't think of a single way the extinguisher would be of use in the absence of a fire. Underneath that heap of tumbled crates was Eklund. I wasn't about to help him out. Underneath that heap of tumbled crates was Eklund. I wasn't about to help him out.
You could at least take the gun away from him.
The head of the axe glinted invitingly. I could hack Eklund into tiny pieces and feed him to the wolves.
Don't even think about it, George.
What? Who?
Look me straight in the eye and tell me you weren't thinking of using that axe on Eklund.
Don't be foolish, woman. I was going to use it on you.
Where do you think you're going?
Don't worry. I hadn't forgotten about you.
Answer me this instant, George Stobart.
I will. When I'm ready.
That's not fair, George.
No.
You took advantage while my hands were tied.
When Eklund pointed that gun at me, I thought I was going to die. I thought of all the things I'd never get to do, and kissing you was at the top of my list.
George?
Uh-huh.
George, we've got to get off the train. Eklund could recover at any time.
So what are we waiting for?
You could just take the gun away.
Nico didn't look like somebody who'd just been tied up and threatened by a killer ticket inspector. Nico?
What now?
How you feeling?
How would you feel if you'd been tied up and humiliated?
Don't worry. Eklund isn't going to cause any problems for a little while.
I wasn't talking about Eklund.
Oh, now listen.
I don't want to talk about it. You took advantage of me, George Stobart.
Are you mad at me because of one little kiss?
Little. You have a tongue like an horse.
You're such a sweet talker, Nico. The rear exit was barred and padlocked. The rear exit was barred and padlocked.
Okay, let's get out of here.
I'd feel happier if we had a gun or something.
Khan gave me something.
What?
His handbag.
Oh, great. If we run into any killers, we can give them a good buffeting. Didn't he have any weapons?
You don't know half of it. This bag's full of C4.
Wow. Why didn't you say so? Boy, we'll show 'em now. What's C4?
Plastic, George.
We're going to shop our way to victory?
2 kilos of plastic explosive. The detonator's broken now.
No problem. We'll buy a box of matches somewhere.
It doesn't work that way. It takes a small explosion to start the big explosion.
Well, that's not much use then. What does that sign say?
Apparently during the English Civil War in the mid-17th century, this place was used as an arms dump.
Yeah? What happened?
Look at the state of this place, George. You work it out.
Oh, stray spark?
You got it. The tower was the only thing to survive the blast.
I hope the explosion didn't destroy the Sword of Baphomet.
Do you? I rather hope it did.
It was just about recognizable as the church I'd seen reflected in the chalice. Templars, Roundheads, and Cavaliers. This place has seen a lot of history. A large arch led into the tower. The gate, like a lot of the church grounds, was in pretty good condition. I guess the locals tried to stop it getting too overgrown. No way were we leaving until the mystery was solved. There were lots of graves, some as recent as late Victorian. It looked like the locals had carried on using this place as a cemetery long after the destruction of the church. I figured Scotland had had enough trouble with Burke and Hare without me trying my hand at grave robbing.
No, I want to go this way. Oh, there we go. There is actually a St. Ninian's in Stirling, but I believe that it's still intact.
Nico?
Uh-huh.
It was a heap of stones and stuff which had tumbled down from the rafters. I scrabbled around in the rubble and found an old clay pipe with a broken stem.
Now this rubble pile is quite deceiving as we can search through it several times.
Under one of the stones, I found a metal coin which was green with age. It was caked with soil, but what I'd found was a small cog and spindle. With mounting excitement, I felt something between my fingers. It was short, hard, and black. Something I hadn't expected to find here. It was a plastic pentop. I didn't find anything. The wheel had a serrated edge which meshed with the turning cog. Marks on the spindle behind the wheel suggested it once had a rope attached to it. The wheel turned reluctantly with a creak of complaint. There was no obvious way of removing the wheel from its housing. It was a simple cog arrangement with a handle to turn the larger wheel. The wheel turned reluctantly with a creak of complaint. There was no obvious way of removing the wheel from its housing.
No, I want this bit here.
The handle turned easily and the larger wheel began to revolve. Damn! Then the handle came off in my hand. Without the handle, the small cog and spindle were seemingly useless. Now that the handle was gone, it was easy to remove the cog and spindle. The stone face of the demon grinned with a horribly lifelike expression. It was so realistic, I could imagine the sculptor carving it from a live model. Examining the demon more closely, I realized something about its face. It was a clever illusion. No matter where I stood, the eyes weren't looking at me. There was a simple reason. The demon didn't have any eyes. Above the carved cross was an indecipherable inscription. For all I knew, it could have been scribed in Gaelic. I tried pushing the panel, but wasn't surprised when it failed to move. Nico?
Uh-huh.
Any suggestions what I could do with this cog?
Well,
Any suggestions what I could do with this cog?
Well,
Maybe not. Look! I found an old coin! You think it's worth anything?
George, focus on the situation at hand, please.
Look what I found buried in the rubble!
It's a plastic pen top.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? Finding something so mundane in a place like this.
Astounding. Let me know if you find any paper clips.
Nico, I found an old clay pipe.
George, I don't care.
What are you doing?
Committing this inscription to memory.
Can you read it?
No,
What's the point of studying the inscription if you can't read it?
because it could be important. A clue to whatever we're looking for, who knows? I might find someone installing to translate it.
We don't have time to go looking for a linguist.
No? At least I am doing something positive.
We've gone through this whole game, and George is questioning why we are trying to commit an inscription to memory.
What language is that inscription written in?
You're the languages student, you tell me.
It looks like ancient Norse. Maybe.
Perhaps it's in code.
I don't think so.
Norse code.
Wow. Now it looks like this demon here has holes in its eyes and mouth.
I pushed the pen top into the mouth and it disappeared somewhere inside the statue. It had probably gone straight to Biro Hell.
Oh no. What a shame.
The cog slipped neatly into the eye socket. With a rasp of metal on stone, I eased the second eye into place.
I wonder.
With the clay pipe in his mouth, he looked happy, homely, like somebody's granddaddy.
What do you think you're doing, Josh?
I wondered if there was a secret mechanism in the demon's mouth.
Maybe you should show a little more respect.
For a mythical medieval demon? Give me a break.
Okay, go right ahead. Meddle with forces you don't understand. Incur the demon's wrath and burn in hell. Just see if I care.
I tried turning the cogs, but couldn't move them. I needed a mechanical advantage.
Yeah, we need to remove that pipe.
I pushed the handle into the demon's mouth. The cogs all meshed. I began to turn.
George really did upset Nicole by kissing her. But she is in the right, I suppose.
As soon as I saw the flickering torches, I realized the bogus Templars had beaten us to the sword. But where were they now? And why was it so quiet? The powder spilling from the barrels reminded me of pirate stories I'd loved when I was a kid. It was gunpowder. It was definitely gunpowder, but it had solidified over the centuries it had lain here undisturbed. The torch burned with a sickly dim glow and a stench like fire and brimstone.
No, George!
What?
Leave the torch right where it is. In case you haven't noticed, the crypt is full of gunpowder.
So what? Don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust.
No? You think I'm a jerk, don't you?
Don't be silly, George. And keep your voice down. I thought I heard something. Like chanting. Listen, I can definitely hear chanting.
You're right. I hear it too. What do you suppose they're doing?
It wouldn't surprise me if they were holding some kind of satanic sex ritual.
So, what are we waiting for? Shh! Will you look at that? Baphomet. Labino was right. This place was ancient even to the Templars.
This whole place? This is Baphomet?
Finally, the truth. The Templars had never worshipped this graven image, no more than they'd worship a rainbow. But, like a rainbow, they regarded it as a symbol of a covenant with God, who'd revealed this place to them.
Rosso! Why, the double-dealing treacherous?
On the contrary, Inspector Rosso has been the model of obedience, an important quality in a true Templar. Now be quiet and watch, if you wish to live much longer.
Brothers and sisters, we are gathered here to witness the reforging of the sword that was broken. Here before God's sentinel, Baphomet. Grand Master and Knight of Baphomet, we salute and pledge our obedience to you!
I salute you, gatekeeper of the temple. Seven centuries ago, our greatest weapon, the sword of Baphomet, was lost to us. Now we prepare to reforge it, to wield against new enemies. As the tired millennium dies, and this world looks for new leaders, we shall not fail. We shall lead the people to a new order, wherein all borders will dissolve. All will be united under the red cross of the Templars. George, we have watched your efforts to stop us with respect. But surely you realize that you have been misled by our enemies. Both of us want a better world. Fortunately, no harm has been done. We need determined, resourceful men like you. Join us, George. Join us in true brotherhood.
Yeah. True. Wait. Brothers? What about Marquet? What about Pegram and Klausner? You didn't look on them as brothers, only as failures. 3 men dead, and you don't give a damn.
George, you know that sacrifices are necessary. Every great undertaking.
Join you? I'll see you in hell first.
George, I had great hopes for you. C'est la guerre. Eklund, kill him.
I swear, I just wanted things to be right.
Take them. Kill them. They will not escape.
Well, well. If it isn't the great detective and his beautiful assistant, it's going to be a pleasure killing the pair of you.
George, what are we going to do?
Hi Guido. This is the last action of the game. Enjoy.
Come on, Nico. We're leaving.
You fools! You cannot escape us. Guido! Stop them.
But master, the powder!
That powder is from the English Civil War. You fool. It's over 300 years old. How explosive do you think it can be?
I thought it was all over, but Nico had one last trick up her sleeve. Or in her handbag, to be exact. A handbag full of plastic explosives.
Maybe, but this stuff is brand new.
Oh, dear.
You know, you'll never be able to write your story now.
I don't care. I've got what I want.
Huh?
Just tell me one thing, George. Is our life together always going to be this crazy?